Good Monday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center. We have a tornado warning in effect now for portions of Glynn County and southeastern Georgia until 4 o'clock. This is something that just kind of popped up here in the summertime pattern. Hadn't even had any severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for portions of the area here at all today, but now a tornado warning for areas of Glynn County where there's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located there in the southeastern Georgia area near Country Club Estates or near Dock Junction. It's nearly stationary, so we need to go ahead and get folks into shelter. Some radar indicated rotation. I'll kind of back things up a little bit. I know you see right around 324. There's a little bit of spin there. Maybe because of some boundary interaction. That's what you sometimes get here this time of year with potential tornadic activity, and that's what we may be dealing with here. Again, it's not too impressive to be quite honest, but yet a tornado warning is in effect until 4 o'clock for portions of Glynn County. Now, I would not be surprised if they drop this early. They may cancel this early. It would not be out of the realm of possibility. If not, probably more likely that ends up happening. But yes, a tornado warning is in effect right now for portions of Glynn County until 4 p.m. there in southeast Georgia. So a dangerous situation for folks in that area. Not something you necessarily really expect this time of year, but it can happen. So again, a tornado warning in effect. We're jumping on the air right now. It's our policy to be on for every tornado warning storm within our 62 counties here. We've been doing it since late 2019, and this is one of those that can, maybe some folks might let it slip under, the radar per se, but it's a situation here where we're getting on with it. We're giving you the very latest. We're trying to keep folks safe, so that's what we're really all about here at Cloud Weather. You need to go ahead and get into your room, away from windows here. Again, a tornado warning is in effect in southeastern Georgia and Glynn County. So, again, a nasty situation here for some of our southeastern Georgia areas. Again, take shelter right away here if you're in that Glynn County area there. Again, a possible tornado as indicated by the Doppler radar technology. So, let me go ahead here and look at our thermal velocity again. Not really seeing a lot, but at 324, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Country Club Estates or near Dock Junction, and the tornado could be around Dock Junction right now. That's if there is actually one there. There's a little weak rotation right near the interstate in there. We'll watch it, and it's not too far from Brunswick Glencoe Airport. And let's go ahead right now and go on over toward just reminding you guys of what we cover here. This is Glynn County in southeastern Georgia, and we're seeing that area, a portion of that zone underneath this tornado warning right now here until 4 o'clock. So make sure you get in that interior room away from those windows. I know, just continuing to watch the situation. Just reading here to see if there's anything new, and there's not right now. There's a lot of lightning, though, along the 995 corridor in southeastern Georgia. Now, you can see no other warnings around. Only, it looks like, a couple other significant weather advisories. One up here toward the tornado warning, and then the other significant weather advisory is out toward the west. And it's not looking too intense that storm anymore south of Madison. We have a severe thunderstorm warning way outside of our area of Walton County now in the Florida Panhandle, but that's it. This is a rogue tornado warning here, and there's honestly not a lot of rotation with this. So, kind of a surprise here to be sure, as the situation does transpire here. Again, we're live on the air to try to keep you guys safe and informed here. A very renegade tornado warning for sure. Again, this was not really expected. There's not a lot of rotation there, but the pattern does say when you have that boundary interaction, things can get tricky for just a few minutes. To be quite honest, I doubt there's a tornado there now, but you have to just err on the side of caution. So, again, a tornado warning is in effect, and we're live here with you on Cloud Weather on Facebook there, Casey Cloud WX. Cloud Weather, the Facebook page for that. Twitter/X at Cloud Casey. We have that YouTube link over there. We're on YouTube and we're on Twitch. So we're just trying to keep everybody safe here. Just trying to make sure you have just the absolute very latest information on the ongoing scenario here. Just trying to make sure our viewers are protected here in a renegade tornado warning setup like this one. Now, there is a general thunderstorm risk in play from the Storm Prediction Center today. I'll go ahead and say that. But that'll be all that we have on the board here. We don't have any type of formal severe weather risk. The hail parameter does not look to even be reaching an inch in diameter. But it's not out of the question there could be a quick, very brief spin-up tornado within this red box. So you just never know here. As we go ahead and look, hail has not seemingly got over an inch. Rotation tracker, it did show some rotation earlier on, but that seems to have faded away. Okay, this is just a thunderstorm warning now for this area with a tornado possible today until 4:30. I suspect that means they'll be dropping the tornado warning pretty soon, but they haven't done so yet at the National Weather Service there in Jacksonville. So again, just continuing to watch the situation. We're just monitoring things here, and you can see again the severe thunderstorm warning just popping up there in this ongoing situation. I know, looking at rotation tracker now, not much there, but I'll back it up and you'll be able to see earlier on there was quite a bit of rotation, at least on this product west of Brunswick Glynn County there around I-95. Now, that has kind of faded away there, to be, again, completely honest. I mean, it didn't show up very well from what I saw in my other mobile. I'll go back again, scrub around and see if there's something that maybe we could kind of look at there in a little more depth here in just a moment. But again, just coming on here to give you the very latest. Let me go ahead and see what we might have in terms of backing up our storm relative velocity product here a little bit further. Again, let's just kind of, we'll loop things around. It sometimes gets tricky in there because things there, are muddy from the radar perspective. I mean, that's not, a very clear signature, but it is far from the radar, so they kind of have to just, maybe guess a little bit. Maybe there was some type of indication. I'll just see here to see if maybe somebody at the airport saw something. They said radar indicated in the text of this warning. I just, don't see a lot here to justify this, but that didn't mean there isn't something there. It's, something where we do want to err on the side of caution when we issue tornado warnings and have, in some cases when there's questions, reasonable questions, and maybe go ahead and issue one versus if it looks unlikely here to maybe not issue one. So, again, watching things very carefully here. I'm going to go ahead and switch radar perspectives to the Moody radar and try to loop it to see if there's something there that they caught on to. I mean, there's broad rotation from that radar now. But that's looking there. Let me check my feet here. That's about 8,000 feet up. And then let's check the Jacksonville radar. That's about only 4,000 feet up. There's broad rotation with that, sure. But I gotta think that severe thunderstorm warning coming is a sign that they're gonna drop the tornado warning pretty soon. But we shall see. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. Again, you see some very broad rotation from the Moody's site. That's higher up. Let's go to Charleston's radar. You can see maybe a little broader rotation there. So I wonder if there was some type of indication where somebody saw something in the clouds there. I know. Let me go ahead and go on over to some other modes that I have here. I know. Just going to go ahead and go through things. Just kind of curious because unusual setup here. There is a boundary, and sometimes stuff kind of just starts to spin along the boundary. And I mean, not out of the question. I do see there's a gust of 45 earlier in Wayne County. That's just that set of our covered area. Not really seeing anything else, besides that here, just popping right up at me. But Again, just trying to give you the very latest on the ongoing situation here. Again, trying to come on the air. I'll let you know what's happening. I know there's some meteorologists that are on vacation in that area there that are looking at the clouds. They're interesting, but nothing like in terms of a funnel cloud, anything spotted that I'm aware of at this point. So you can see that there is a lot of energy here. That is something that's worth noting. 5,000 joules per kilogram there of surface-based CAPE as we're looking toward that area there. As we're looking toward that area. And, some, tornadoes, mainly just go off of energy and maybe a boundary. So that line of thinking is, is sound there. No supercell composite values, though, and no tornado parameter values showing up. So, again, that's kind of the situation right there. Infrared satellite, you do see some cloud tops there in the picture. Again, just watching the ongoing situation. And you can see here the winds. I know, looking at them there, and you're seeing some shift, but it's sometimes more on a micro scale level than what that product can show. Again, just trying to give you the very latest here as the situation does progress. Trying to keep you guys safe and informed out there. This tornado warning's been going on for a few minutes now. Again, as the scenario evolves, I know we're just going to kind of stick with this. As long as that tornado warning is in effect, that red box is on the board here. Again, just trying to keep you up to date. Again, an ongoing weather scenario here, obviously, that's worth noting. Again, just make sure you're in an interior room away from windows right now. If you're in parts of Glynn County, they haven't dropped a tornado warning yet. Let's go ahead here and keep looking at things. There's some ride rotation in the other mode here. Right just east of I-95 there, just northeast of Dock Junction. Honestly, that looks a little more impressive than it had earlier on. I mean, you can see how more one direction wind, and now it's starting to get a little spin in there, but it may just be, based on the fact we're so high up on the radar scan that we're not really seeing what could be happening down toward the surface here. Again, we have a tornado warning in effect right now. Any type of debris in there? That's a question, and don't really see anything, that's obvious here, but of course, you are pretty high up on radar, so it's not a guarantee we'd actually see tornadic debris with this. So, again, a tornado warning is in effect, but otherwise, between that and the severe thunderstorm warning into Brunswick proper, there's not much else that's really too crazy. Some strong thunderstorms, or at least summertime thunderstorms, even because that other advisory went away. These are not considered strong technically here as we're looking south of Valdosta and, north of Ocala and Gilchrist County and the like. But again, we do have this tornado warning there in parts of southeastern Georgia. So again, getting into your room away from windows. Again, a tornado warning is in effect right now. Just trying to keep you guys safe and informed here. Again, you just always got to be careful in these sets of circumstances. As we look up the coast, there's a severe thunderstorm warning around Savannah right now. But as we look here further toward the south, that's in our area, the red box, and that's a tornado warning. So you got to take that seriously. You got to take that seriously, obviously, as the situation does continue to progress. You can't take any chances here. Let's go ahead and keep on checking. Again, still no debris. Again, you see a little bit of green. That's wind going toward the radar in Jacksonville. At GIA, Jacksonville International Airport, and red's wind going away from the radar. Okay, they just canceled the tornado warning now. They don't think there's enough there anymore to support the continuation of the tornado warning. The National Weather Service in Jacksonville letting that go. The red box will get off the screen here shortly. But again, been monitoring the situation here, and it's no longer on this screen. So with the cancellation, that means it's not something that continues, to the next 15-minute period. It's over immediately, but there is still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of the area. So let's go ahead and stick with this just a little bit longer here, where this is right around Brunswick. A severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for the Brunswick area here as we're looking toward Glynn County. Again, let's just go ahead and look at the wind mode on this. There is some wind energy with this activity. It's not overwhelming, but again, we are pretty far from the radar side. Again, just continuing to follow things here. Again, the tornado warning no longer in effect, but a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here as we're looking into toward parts of southeastern Georgia. So, again, I'm just trying to give you the very latest here. I'm trying to let you guys know what we're dealing with, what's happening. And you just don't want to be inside and away from windows. There's quite a bit of that lightning around right near I-95, obviously. So just something to kind of keep in mind there. Just be extra careful. Just be very safe here. You really don't want to be on the road in that area if you don't have to be, as we're looking toward parts of Glynn County. So again, just letting you know what we're dealing with. Just letting you know here what's happening. Just trying to keep you safe. I know, again, just making sure that you're protected. So, again, tornado warning no longer in effect, but the thunderstorm warning is in effect here as we're looking toward portions of Glynn County. I know definitely can get kind of breezy out there, if not downright windy. Brunswick, St. Simons Island, Dock Junction, we have Country Club Estate, Sea Island, and Jekyll Island. Just remain alert for a possible tornado, as tornadoes can still develop quickly, from severe thunderstorms. And if you spot a tornado, at once, you want to go into a basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. So, again, this stuff is so important to keep in mind here. Just so important to keep in mind in these type of scenarios. You gotta be on top of things. I know. Another thing that I want to mention here, we've had that heat around today. But it's cooled down like where we're at in Bradford County in North Central Florida, but there's still a heat advisory in place. We're looking over some of those coastal communities. And as we look at some of the numbers, heat index values, the potential was there for up to 111 with those today. So that is something substantial and something to take seriously. I know up toward the area around Charleston, there's an excessive heat warning. You don't get that very often. So, some interesting conditions in that regard as we look at things. And in fact, I'll put some stuff on the screen right now here, and you'll see the excessive heat warning anyway. I don't have the heat advisory in the system, but that's where it's just crazy hot. And I take the wind numbers off. We'll go ahead and look at some other information. Another land spout can't be ruled out in our area, by the way. Still, even though the tornado warning no longer in place. You see the warm, hot temperatures. Cooler though in portions of north central Florida at this point. I know, down towards central Florida itself, a little warmer. And you see a little more of a scattering of activity there with convection. I know it's definitely interesting. Hit and miss the activity east of Stark, where we're at today. Really hadn't got too much precip, but right in Stark, south side of Stark, a much different story. I mean, just being on the go, kind of seeing that firsthand. I mean, as you look right there, south side of Stark, I mean, we're talking about around quarter to half inch, but further up, really not seeing measurable precipitation here accumulating. Maybe a little bit of, rain that, wets the ground a bit. But again, we're watching things. Let me take over some thunderstorm warning, super, because, it's a situation here where when we look at other storms, they're not severe. I don't want to confuse anybody out there, but still got to be careful, obviously. I know, for what it's worth, while we were on for our local tornado warning, but there is now a tornado warning up in New York State. You don't get those often. Now, we caught them often last week. That's pretty tight rotation there for New York State. I mean, that's tighter than what we had in our area. That's, they're east of Buffalo by a pretty good ways. Southwest of Rochester. Some pretty tight rotation on the Doppler radar. So, yes, it's a good thing that area, that blue there, is not, in actual, in a correlation to the right spot here, because that would be, a significant debris signature, but it's not in the right spot, so that's not what it is. But just kind of interesting to touch on there. So, again, just trying to give you the very latest to protect you, your friends, and your family. Again, a tornado warning was in play for parts of Glynn County. That's been canceled early now, but a severe thunderstorm warning still does remain in effect. And now we are watching some storms like in southern Clay County, but there's no advisories with anything right now. A little bit of wind action near I-10 in Jacksonville. As you see the word Brunswick, there's some lighting there, just west of town, but nothing too crazy. Again, there's a severe thunderstorm warning there, though, so don't let your guard down. And the landspout potential is there, but there's a chance they could end up dropping the severe thunderstorm warning and letting the significant weather advisory take over with the landspout, possible tag in there. Of course, if we actually started to get something that looked more like a definitive tornadic rotation, and they'd have to issue a tornado warning, but nothing overwhelming there right now. Again, let's look this here. You can kind of see the boundary come into play, and that's the problem. When you have that boundary, things start forming there, and then you have stuff turning in opposite directions and a lot of energy, and that can happen, maybe 1, 2, 3 times a summer here. Things just kind of happen out of the blue like this with a tornado warning popping on up. So that's why we had to come on the air here. We want to go ahead and wrap things up, I think, at this point, though, since that severe thunderstorm warning, it's there. Be careful around Brunswick. It's not overwhelming looking, though, but we've given you the heads up. In Glynn County there, severe thunderstorm warning till 4:30. Be inside, be away from windows there around Brunswick, around I-95 there. Obviously, some pretty nasty weather. Whenever thunder roars, go indoors, obviously, as we look toward that area. And as we try to give you the very latest here on what is happening. So, I think that's going to do it for now. We thank you so much for tuning in. I know in terms of national news, the weekend there, Saturday, it was a tough one. My thoughts and prayers go out to the victims there, the innocent victims in that. As we go ahead and wrap things up for now, though. Our next formal updates tomorrow night. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. If we don't have to pop in with a severe weather alert before then. So that's going to do it for now. Again, severe thunderstorm warning remaining in effect here. If we have more severe thunderstorm warnings, we can just maybe post those if it's a situation they don't look too crazy. That's on Facebook and on Twitter/X. But if it's a tornado warning like this, or a more significant, concerning severe thunderstorm warning, will pop on the different stream platforms. Facebook there, Twitter/X, YouTube, and Twitch. So, again, that's going to do it. That'll wrap it up for now.